Come and take a ride to the ocean. Stay. Introduce you to the ocean gang.
All right, so we are back, and today is the same day as the accessport videos, I should say. But today we are putting a Cobb intake into the 2015 Subaru WRX. As you can see right now, I have the hood open. We went for a test drive and did a little driving, had the engine running for a while with in the accessport stuff. So I just want to have the hood open so that it gets nice. Oh, I don't say nice and cool. It's only gonna get so cool by the time I start working on it, but that way it cools down as much as it can and the hood's not trapping all that heat in there, so that it's just soaking up.
Mark wants to know if you're having car problems too.
Oh, no.
Yeah, his car is his engine is busted. It doesn't even start.
Really? Does he need wood?
It's been like that for a while.
What car is he? Does he need help now?
I don't know. You can go ask him.
Yeah, I'll go ask him. Well, yeah, if you want to ask him, I can. I don't have jumper cables or anything, but if he has jumper cables or needs a hand, I can try to give him a hand. Well, so I'm actually at the park right now, still from the accessport video. I'm sure you heard it. Somebody's having some problems. They thought I was too, and they wanted to come check up on me. But yeah, I don't know if he needs a hand. I'm gonna see what's up, and I will be right back. All right, so that was kind of cool. So yeah, like I said, kid just ran over to my car, said his uncle's having a problem with his car, and I didn't know if he needed like a jump or if he was stranded on the side of the road. But the kid kind of said like he's been having an issue with it for a while, so that kind of gave me the idea of like, I think he thought I was working on my car and I could like help him fix his car and get it running like after being down for a while. I don't know, but yeah, so I said I'd go over and see what I could do to give him a hand. I go over and kid's got a blown motor, unfortunately. That sucks. I mean, again, I do body work. I'm not like a mechanic, so I felt bad because I had no idea what to tell this kid other than like, yeah, your motor's toast. Like, sorry. But he was cool. He was probably like, I don't know, 17, 18, chatted up for, well, he was probably, yeah, 17, 18 I'd give him. Talked a little bit. He saw the camera, asked if I was doing the YouTube thing, so I gave him the channel. Crap, I forgot to ask him what his name was, but if you are watching this video, what's up to you? I am sorry about your car, and hopefully he was talking about maybe getting some sort of a Miata stance project, so that's kind of cool. Hopefully he gets it. I'd like to see that happen for him. Told him I'd give him my card. I forgot, and so I will probably just leave it on his windshield when I drive away. So again, if you're watching this and you found a business card on your windshield, that's mine. But yeah, so back to the intake. I am now, the motor's nice and cool, or plenty cool for me to touch it. I am going to start taking off the factory airbox and intake, and I'm gonna set you guys up somewhere over there under the hood to be able to see what I'm doing. Maybe head cam, not sure. I'll figure out how to get you guys set up. We will take off the factory airbox. There's a couple other parts that will need to come off, and we will get the Cobb intake on, and then we will have to reflash the access port to update it to let it know that there is now a Cobb intake on there. And we will go from there. So let's get under the hood. It's getting a little chilly and windy out, so let's get this done and bang it out. Let's do it. Alright, so I don't know how well you will be able to hear me, but we have our box here with our intake in it. I'm gonna get it open, and then we are gonna see what all comes in the box, just like the access port. Let's bring it over here. Get our blanket reset up. So, in the box, we have a bunch of stuff. So, let's get something heavy out. I don't know what this is. The filter, probably. Alright. So we got some packing foam. We'll throw that in the trunk. We have one piece of the airbox there. This is probably clamps and stuff. Yep, clamps and an elbow. We've got intake piping, and we have the heat shield. So we'll go over that one more time with everything all set up. So this is the piping that goes from the intake, what actually sucks the air in, and then delivers it to the turbo that compresses it and blows it into the engine. Get this like that, sure. So that's everything that comes in the box. This is our filter. So I'm gonna get all the tools that we need set up. I will show you that, and then we will get this stuff on the car. All right, so the first thing that we have to do here, we have to jack the car up. We're gonna jack the car up. Down under here, we have to take this plastic shielding off. It's just a bunch of clips around. And then we are going to have to take, this is called the snorkel. It just pulls air from up here as opposed to down here. So we have to take this piece off, airbox off, disconnect the mass airflow sensor. Once we do all that, we'll be able to get to the intake piping and get that off. But for now, let's get the car up and get her done. Now I am going to tighten this nut right here. That way this freaking pole stops coming out on me. Alright. Now, let's get this stuff off. Get a screwdriver to pull out the clips. I don't need a blanket. so this is also gonna need a 14, and that's it. So I also gotta grab a 14 and a screwdriver. So we got our sockets. The 14 back. 13. No. So it's a 12. So that's one more thing, guys, actually very important. I'm gonna disconnect my battery right now. Anytime you're doing any sort of modifications or anything, you really should just disconnect the battery. So last clip is out, and there goes the panel. So we just want to move this out of the way. So make sure we don't lose our clip. Throw those in the bucket. All right. And the next piece of the puzzle. All right, so now all of this is undone. You can see the intake bolts up right here. It kind of snakes all the way up in here. Right here is the airbox. So it's gonna snake up and in. Should we take off there? Let's get the fender liner loosened to make our lives just a little bit easier. And then we'll go to the top. So now we have the fender liner loosened too, so it gives you a much better idea. You can see the intake tubing coming down here, junk plastic. We are going to have to remove this bolt here. There's a metal clamp here holding the plastic tubing onto the turbocharger, and then up there it snakes up into the airbox. So let us get up there. We'll take the airbox and stuff off and go from there. All right, so now we have the snorkel, the airbox. We have to take out the mass airflow sensor. I am going to get something to wrap that up in. So it's very important that the mass airflow sensor, which is here, doesn't get dirty. That way it doesn't cause any false readings or anything. So I'm gonna get that off. Get this tucked in here, that way it doesn't blow away on me. And yeah, I will be right back. So mass airflow sensor is loose. I'm going to leave it in there just to keep it as protected as possible for as long as possible. I'm going to start taking the snorkel and the front of the airbox off and go from there. So this off. So the factory air box needs to take a 10 mil out here. I just took a 10 mil out here. Once I take this 10 mil out down here, this I'm gonna go down and yeah, so I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna get down here and disconnect it from the piping. That way we can pull this out and pull the piping off separately. So camera battery died. I don't know where it left off. I don't know how much I have left in this particular battery. So I have just put the coupler on to the turbo inlet with the circle clamp on. I am now going to take the intake piping, and this is going to get threaded into routed the same way as it was before. This bracket is going to hold this somehow, I think down by the coupler. So let's get this fed in and go from there. So I'm gonna get this down here. Now I got the intake piping on. I got the piping onto the inlet for the turbo there. Now this bracket is going to line up with this here, and this is going to hold it in the proper position that it needs to be in order to not be moving around and stuff. So let's go and get the next parts. All right, so again in here we have the filter. So these filters are oiled. Tells you how to clean clean and oil your filter. These filters do come pre-oiled from the manufacturer, I've been told, so This should be okay. So yeah, this is pre-oiled from the manufacturer. Box in. We have one more. Oh, we already got a hose clamp here, so we got an extra one. That one's gonna be for that. The washers and bolts are going to be to put the rest of the pieces onto here as needed. So let's bring these pieces around to the front. All right, now obviously there. So now we have to get this piece off, that way we can put it on our bracket. So let me get my take one of these bolts. So now we're just gonna use the bolt and a couple washers. So these are plastic or rubber washers. They are just going to prevent any sort of metal on metal vibration and contact between the bolt and the metal bracket and the chassis. So what I'm gonna do is put this in here, so this is why we left all of this this loose. That way I'm gonna have to move this into its position to get the bolt in, and then my other washer here is just gonna go right here, and then the bolt, the nut I should say, is gonna go onto the bolt like that. And then we're just gonna use 210s and we are going to crank it down. So this piece, actually we're gonna wait until everything is all on to crank down. But again, this is gonna prevent this from flopping around everywhere. So let's go back up to the top and we are going to get the box mounted in. So I believe it's going to fit in this way. So we're gonna take our mass airflow sensor. This actually needs to get unplugged and rerouted. So we're gonna find how to unplug it. Push the clip. Very important. You want to be very delicate with the mass airflow sensor. It is a very important piece of the car. You do not want to drop this or damage it. So you want to put it in. It does matter the way you put this in. Shoot. Maybe it doesn't. I'm pretty sure it matters. So I'm pretty sure it goes this way, but it's no, it's gotta go this way because it needs. So the mass airflow sensor needs a place to go. There's no room here, so that's the way that it's got to go. I am, after I bolted on, I am going to just hop on Google really quick and check to make sure I have it oriented the right way. The last thing I want to do is have the mass airflow sensor in backwards, and God forbid I am sending the wrong information to the ECU. That would not be good. So just hand tighten your mass airflow sensor bolts. We're just gonna keep it in here, that way it is as safe as possible and out of that plastic bag. Alright, so camera died again. I don't know how long this battery is gonna last. So essentially all we have to do is extend the wire from the mass airflow sensor down to the mass airflow sensor, get the box on, get the filter on, and then we are all set. If the camera dies again, I will just be putting the rest of the pieces on the way they came off, other than the intake. So those two pieces there will be going on as they came off. And then if I don't have any more juice left to film the rest of it, I will show the final product, and then go over a little bit more before this video is over. But while I have camera, let us grab the wire extender. So this is a nice extra 1.5 feet or so of wire to go to your mass airflow sensor. That way it'll reach all the way down here. So I am just going to wrap this like that. Alright, so I don't know if my camera is still on. I hope it is. But now is when we are going to go down and tighten up the bracket that is holding that still. So we're tighten this. Alright, so that should not be moving at all. Now I can tighten these. Alright, so sorry if the audio on this is going to be probably terrible compared to the other one. My other camera, I put some little fuzzies around the microphone to kind of act as a wind guard. This one does not have that, so I'm going to try to keep this one short and sweet so it hurts your ears as less or as little as possible. So we got the intake in. Everything went together good. I dropped one clip here, down in there somewhere. I can just get another clip to replace that, so I'm just going to call that a loss. Get a new clip in there eventually. But everything is down, tightened. Underneath the car, we get under. You can see that the panel is back on. Everything has been secured and taken care of down here, so everything is all set. Now all that we have to do is get the car off of the jack stands. I have the old intake, the factory one, in the box. I'm going to keep that, and then my tools put away. So I am going to take the car down. After I take the car down, we will get it started and see if there's any sound difference, and then I'm gonna get home because it has been a long day. I've been in this parking lot all day long, and I'm gonna go home, relax, edit some of this stuff up maybe, and call it a day. So let's get the car off the stands, and I will see you very shortly. Alright, so now we are back in the messy car. Let's get this thing started and see how she sounds. Definitely can hear it a little bit more. sure you hit that bell button. I'm out of here for today, and I will see you guys